I have it.
Thank you, Seth. Okay, hi, everybody. I think everybody, hi, Shelley, hi, Gina. Oh, there's Barry, okay, great. Now we're in great shape.
Yes.
Okay, so I think everybody knows everybody, but just in case, because sometimes on the AI minutes, they doesn't always come through. So I'm just going to introduce myself, and if we can just go from there. I'm Sue DePisa, chair. Susie,
Susie Hofmeister, co-chair.
Paul,
Hey, Paul Markowitz, good to see everybody.
Brenda,
Brenda O'Connor, representing the Visitors Center.
Gina,
Gina Savage. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Gina.
Jane,
Jane Norton, Scituate Chamber of Commerce.
great. Karen,
Hey, Karen Canfield, Select Board Liaison.
thank you. Shelley,
Hi, Shelley. Shelley Swanson, Greenbush Liaison.
thank you. Grace,
Hi, Grace Gardner, EDC.
welcome. And Barry,
Hey there, Barry Kurland, EDC.
great. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to put Karen Canfield right on the spot here. I know you were just not planning. I cannot believe I left your name off of the agenda, but is there anything you'd like to share with us tonight?
I have notebooks.
Oh.
No, not a ton. I in the effort to overshare in case somebody missed the news, a couple things I want to just highlight. Obviously, town elections are coming up on May 18th. And there's still time to draw papers. They're due back on the 29th. Town before that, and even, I don't know, they're both extremely important. The town meeting will be held on April 8th at Scituate High School, and we hope everybody can come to that. Have you been informed? I can't remember if I've updated you guys on the new beach policy sticker. I've spoke to some people individually.
I think you did, but we can share it again.
Okay, well, we are now we have a new policy, and from in the period before, well, let me see, I'm gonna get it all backwards. You do not need a beach sticker to go to any beach parking lot. Anybody in town, out of town, New Zealand, you can come before Labor Day or before Memorial Day and after Labor Day.
Yep.
And non-resident stickers during high season are only valid Monday through Friday. So a big shift. I think it'll help in a whole bunch of areas, but most importantly, if folks, it's a beautiful day in April and you know you can come to Scituate and not have to worry get a sticker, then maybe they'll come and visit our shops and stores. So that was a big, I think, economic development boon. The other two things I want to tell you about were the rebate program for low flow toilets and appliances has been increased. So if folks want to, replace a toilet, they can ask for, they can apply for a rebate. And that helps in our water conservation. And there's also an update for on the policy for hardship and the tiered system. We're going to end up tweaking it because there's some unintended consequences. We tiered the water rates to discourage the folks that don't care that they're watering their grass every single day, 4 times a day. And it's had some unintentional consequences for multi-use buildings and things like that. So that's coming up, and that'll impact stuff. And the last thing is, I thought this was really interesting. I want to tell you guys. So last Tuesday night, we had our board meeting, and a local small business that is Heritage Apparel that is doing t-shirts and swag and stuff that they're designing, and they're pretty cool. They have them at the Village Market and the pharmacy and a couple other places. They came in with a request to license our beach sticker
Mm,
it's
Logo. Mhm.
to make t-shirts like they do on Nantucket and a lot of other places.
yeah,
None of us can ever recall anybody asking for a license agreement for some property that the town owns before. So we all, there's a lot of, that's interesting. So they ended up getting the license. They will be giving a percentage of the profits from that sale to the town, and the board asked it to be designated to economic development.
Excellent.
So it makes
wow.
sense. You're not getting a windfall, but we
Well,
thought that.
unless we go buy the t-shirts.
There you
Ourselves.
go, but we're not getting much of every t-shirt, so. But we felt it was appropriate of a public,
Yeah,
property was being used for private profit, that we should share in the benefit, so.
that's
I think
great.
you guys would be interested in that little fun fact.
Yes. Shall I ask you about sewer? Or shall I not?
There's nothing new.
Okay, okay,
No, I mean, the town approved the design and engineering, I think it was $250,000 to start design and engineering to take wastewater to our plant. Simultaneously, we will work on I&I and hope that they align, that when we have the permits or when we have the design in place, we have the capacity. I would point everybody to Google, Jim Bedreau, it's probably on the town website. Jim Bedreau gave an interview on I think WBZ. Does anyone remember which, or WGBH? I can't remember, in the last couple of days, where he specifically said, hey, state, great idea doing the zoning for multi-use housing. We're in, but we can't build a darn thing because we don't have sewer.
yeah,
And he so good and on point about articulating that the policy of multi-house zoning is useless if we can't get support in actually
Yeah.
having the infrastructure. So I'll see, while you guys are talking, I'll try to find the link and I'll put it in the chat. Oh, do we have?
that's a,
Probably don't.
Karen, I have it. It was from March 7th.
Oh, good. Tell me again which media outlet, because
I have one from GBH.
yeah,
I'll
that's
put it in the chat.
okay. I don't
Yes.
think we have. Do we have a chat?
You have it now.
Oh, yay.
oh.
Being smart, Grace. It's really cool. He really does a good job of synthesizing what what the issue is on that. But we're
Yeah.
gonna keep moving forward. He did in that
Okay.
article, in that interview, say 3 to 5 years, which we've all heard a million times.
Yeah, I think we've heard that a couple of times.
Long time.
But it's a great strategy though for him to do that. So good for him. I'll take a look at that. What about the beach nourishment project? How's that going?
It's actually, I mean, I don't even want to say it out loud, but it's going rather smoothly.
Okay.
Even with the economical high tides, and water was brown and everyone freaked out, but you go down now and you can see what it's supposed to do. So they're making progress. So far, nothing to report negatively, and it's going to take another month or so before they're done. So it's moving along.
Right, okay.
And it's
Well,
become a,
Right now,
become
it's become a tourist attraction.
yeah, it's an attraction. If you have kids or any free time, I would say, unofficially encouraging any hot dog cart owners to get down there and take advantage.
Absolutely stay away from the construction area.
There we go.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's see, would maybe move on to review and approve the minutes for December 23 and January 24. I know that I had sent them to the commission members. Do we have any changes that we need to make?
So I reviewed them and I make a motion to approve both.
Anybody make a second?
I seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great.
I just have to abstain from December because I
Aye.
wasn't there,
Okay,
but I approve January.
okay. Thank you.
Actually, that's the same for Barry.
Okay.
Do I-
Okay, so
Sorry, point of order, Madam Chair. I hate to tell
Yes.
you this, but when you do a Zoom meeting, you're supposed to do a roll call vote for every vote. Just to be annoying,
too
sorry.
bad. Yeah. Okay, so let's do that again. Paul, do you want to make that motion again?
Yeah, I move to approve the minutes, both minutes.
Susie,
Second both minutes, to approve both minutes.
and you are in favor? Yes?
I'm in
Take the
favor
roll call. I
Yes.
do aye.
Aye.
of both minutes.
Is Grace?
I approve both minutes.
Barry?
I abstained for December. I was not there, and I approve January.
Gina, I'm sorry, I didn't see your box.
I abstain from December and I approve for January.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Canfield, for keeping me honest. Okay, so we have lots of great things happening at EDC and around town. We're thrilled with the way the application process for funding is going. Since we implemented it this year, it's been really great to track it. And Gina, jump in at all if you'd like to say anything about the tracking part and how we're going to have some great information at the end of the year. You agree?
Yes. So I can just go over the figures for everyone. According to our tracker, we have $21,512.71 left for the remaining calendar year. We do have a request in, as we're going to hear from Brenda later, for the Scituate Visitor Center for $7,350. And then we also have another submission for the Get to Greenbush event that was submitted by the Chamber of Commerce, and that would be $2,260. So if we approve the SVC request, we'd be at around 14,000 and change. And then if that other event is also approved after we have a discussion at the next meeting, we'd be at around 11,900 and change. So everyone get those applications in, because before you know it, it's going to be the end of the fiscal year, and we really want to make sure that we can support all kinds of great events.
And also to make note, if you're speaking with anybody that you think might fit the criteria, the funds that would be approved before June 30th would have to be used before June 30th. So that's the big thing. Shelley, we know we have your application in next. It wasn't on the agenda for this time, so we'll get right back to you on that as soon as we have a chance to talk it over.
Thank you very much. No problem at all.
Well, actually, it was Shelley and I guess the chamber, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So we've really successfully supported a lot of great efforts to enhance economic development in the community, including the lights. I see Emily on the line there, which is great. The lights in the harbor. Supported the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which was a big success. The Sister Cities, the American Fiction event, porta potties in North Scituate. That was very exciting. And we paid for kiosks in North Scituate and the harbor. And I'm sure we'll finish with other contributions to stimulate business in Scituate by the time we get to June 30. Yes, Susie?
One question, the porta potty for North Scituate, the playground, I think it's coming up, right? We always put it up around.
Yes,
So
around Memorial Day?
right, do we have to have an application for that, or is that just going?
No,
in?
that's just an ongoing thing.
Okay.
It's part of it because EDC pays for it
Yeah.
directly. Yes. We've seen the results of the work of the Scituate Visitor Center. Brenda, I know, will enlighten us again this evening, but it's partially, the results are partially measured by the meals tax, and the increase is notable. So that is one of the metrics, but also the information that we've received from the data on the website is also very encouraging. So we think that the visitor center will have a big impact, especially as, you know, this summer promises to be busier than last summer. So again, Brenda will be here is here to give us that information. We recently received the application from Shelley and the chamber, so we'll discuss that, and that's for the Get to Greenbush event in May. Sometimes there are things that are broken down in these applications that we cannot fund. I have no idea yet on the one from the chamber for Get to Greenbush, but it at first glance it looked like it was fine. So we'll just, if we have to pull something out, we sometimes just pull it out and approve. I think that happened with the Sister Cities event or something like that. So we'll be doing that in April.
Sue, would you be able to recirculate the Get to Greenbush materials? For some reason, I can't open it on my computer and I can only see a preview on my phone.
Of the application itself?
Yeah, it's showing
Yeah.
as a zip file and I've tried everything. I cannot open it.
Yep, I will
It might
do
just
that.
be it might just be me. So sorry, everyone.
I'll just send it to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. So tonight, Barry and Grace will give us an update on the upcoming survey timeline, and we're still working on the plan for an RFP for a marketing proposal for the town. More to come on that in April. I feel that we are doing all the due diligence that is needed to do these things correctly, and we'll have the best outcome. One thing I keep forgetting, I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but as a liaison to the Harbor Cultural District, I'm excited to tell people that they're working on commissioning an artist to complete a mural in the harbor. They are working on the designated site and timing. I'm sure it'll be a great addition to the area and draw more people down to the harbor. Finally, before we move on to the reports, the select board has requested that EDC form a subcommittee for the celebration of the lighthouse event, or more likely a season of events. We'll hear more about that formation of the committee once there's an info gathering with historic and other committees and groups that are interested in participating. So with that, we can get going, and we'll start with Paul Barkowitz with Shark, if there's anything to report there.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good to see everybody.
You
There
too,
I
Paul.
am.
Yeah. Speaking of
We're
the
in
lighthouse.
the permitting process, which takes a bit of time. Our updated schedule is to hope to get the town meeting in the fall of 2025 and start the construction of the project in 2026. Some upcoming events: March 21st, Massachusetts EPA will have a hearing on our Chapter 91 application, which involves touching, the harbor. And then on April 9th, Massachusetts Area Planning Council is having an event at Pier 44 just to promote the grant funding that we've received. We've received $100,000 towards pre-construction costs for developing the project, the park project. So they'll have an event promote Pier 44 and other projects that MAPC has funded.
Okay.
To answer any questions.
I have a question. Do you predict that the new park at Pier 44 will come before the sewer in North Scituate?
Sewer in North Situate is always 5 years away. We're sooner than that. Let me just say on sewer, it's something, I've been interested in, representing EDC for a number of years now, and really appreciate Karen's efforts and Jim Boudreau and the select board in continuing to pursue this. There's a beautiful intergovernmental proposal that really qualified engineering firm developed, where Cohasset and Hull and Scituate will work together and utilize the facilities available in everyone's best interest, make the funding right so it's fair for everybody. And it's highly disappointing that really outstanding project hasn't gone forward, but I'm happy to see that Scituate is working on a backup plan, and
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful that common sense will prevail and a real good government, good environmental, good planning, good management program will go forward with collaboration between these three communities. These kinds of joint community projects going on all over the country with great success, and it's disappointing that it's not moving along fast enough here. But appreciate all the effort. But
Yes,
I know for
it's been a
EDC, this
lifetime.
is always our #1 priority. Again, it's good for economic development. It's good for our community. It's exceptionally good for the environment, which we would hope the other communities would see that as well.
Hey,
Yes,
Paul, I gotta chime in and say thank you, Paul, because it is beyond frustrating, and
yeah,
unless we can get some folks to drastically change their opinion on the subject, it's a non-goer, and we're not gonna waste. We will always, as I always say, we will always keep the door open.
Yeah.
But at present, we are definitely employing our resources elsewhere, because I don't have a lot of faith in that arrangement being anytime. It's more than 5 years.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
just to mention, the planning proposal was developed by the same engineering firm that works for all three communities.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the sewage plants. And
Oh, your
they're
mistake is
actually-
thinking that common sense will prevail.
yeah, it's a nationally known firm. I worked with them in California on several projects.
Yeah. I would love it, but the window will close on that once Hull moves forward with their plans. So we'd be foolish if we weren't trying to find an alternative solution at this point.
Well, the good news, though, is that Scituate is making their own plan now, that
Yeah.
they have not any longer going to rely on that possibility.
And I think I was really glad to hear the point you brought up earlier, Karen, that Jim Boudreau has
Yes.
connected meeting, the requirements for multi-use housing with the transit, and a big roadblock there is sewer, and so anything the state could do to help would really be great.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Paul. Advisory, Linda is not here, so we will move on to Barry and Grace.
Sorry, just coming off of mute here, and I will even show my face.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Grace, feel free to jump in anytime, but we've been asked to report out on our progress on both communications initiatives. The first of which is the Scituate Business Communication Survey, and the second is the more and more sort of dependent upon that marketing proposal. Grace and I have been working diligently on both, and the bottom line progress is right now. Both are right about at the stage where we are our next step is going to be to go to Jim, and for the marketing proposal, we're going to be requesting from him what the procedure is to get that posted up as an RFP. We've had really good meetings about it with stakeholders so far. We're looking right now at a timeline that if we are able to get that posted, hopefully at some point in April, we're looking at a timeline where the marketing work, provided that everybody on this committee is, or on this commission is satisfied with proposals that we get, the work would be slated to just begin either at the very end of this fiscal year in June or at the start of the July fiscal year. So it is looking like, give me one moment.
Yeah, the other thing I'll add here is some of the work that we're thinking about is how to streamline what can be kind of a cumbersome process and make it more efficient for our crew and our group to review and evaluate proposals, but it also make it easy for people or reduce the onus of submitting for the project as well for the marketing brief. So we've put together a 1 to 2 page brief on the project at hand, and then are also putting together a Google form that will act as the proposal or the submission form for individuals or firms that are proposing. And so we're not only trying to streamline or articulate the goals of the marketing work, but also trying to think through how can we make this process more efficient and effective for everybody involved. Barry, did you want to talk specifically about the business communication survey?
Yeah, sure. And Grace, thanks for pointing that out. It also creates a very comparable, transparent situation. What we're trying to do is with that particular survey application to make sure that it's something that everybody can judge and really understand why, from the firms who are applying side, how they are being judged, and for us, make it easier as volunteers to be able to judge the applications. For the communication survey, this one we've been, sorry, was someone, okay. For the communication survey, this one we have been hacking away at for a while, and it has moved into, we have 3 equal sections that are focused on some technical needs that businesses have sort of through their communications with the town, how businesses look at the overall business ecosystem, and stakeholder ecosystem and partner ecosystem within Scituate. And then for us, it's super important how businesses see the marketing needs of Scituate. And this is data that we want to be feeding directly into whatever firm gets chosen, so that any firm that gets chosen gets a leg up from this communication survey. Again, we're going to be going for approval because right now it's being coded. We're coding this into Google Forms with the idea that we're trying to make it easy. We're trying to get really strong data, but also make it easy for businesses to complete. Grace's term, and I think the great one, is to optimize for completion. I think that we might have underestimated the difficulty of really stringing the needle here to get the good data back while also making it easy to complete, but we think we're pretty close. And we're gonna hopefully have Jim take a look at that, because it's of course vital for him to be able to have a review before this goes out. Our hope is originally we had hoped that this would be out for responses from businesses this month, but we are crossing our fingers that we can have this out for responses in April. That would give Grace and me time to take some of May to put together some materials and a readback for everybody to have some data for stakeholders at some point in June, and crucially to be able to have that data for the marketing firm in June before they do work, because we are less expensive than a marketing firm is what it comes down to. but hopefully we can be semi-effective in feeding them some good data. So that's our hoped for timeline right now. We are winding up our preliminary work for it, and then hopefully we can get the right approvals to get this out. And I want to thank Jane, who's on the call, who has been very, very helpful and very enthusiastic with her support in trying to get this out to members, and the overall message of let's ask people what they want to do. Let's ask people how they're feeling. Let's ask people what's going good, what could be improved. And we're hoping to be able to work with the Chamber and other associations within Scituate to be able to get this out as soon as we have full approval. Grace, any further additions? Oh, Sue, yes, yes is the answer. So will EDC members see the questions beforehand? Yes, honestly, as soon as we have a final document that's ready for Jim's eyes, we can send that out to EDC's eyes as well. And we can determine, depending on timeline, whether there's a need for a special meeting for everyone to discuss it, or whether it's something that that we want to just press ahead with. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Great.
It sounds great. I know it's been a lot of work, a lot of meetings, talking to people and trying to get consensus on a lot and buy-in, like Jane and, business groups. I think you're doing a great job. I know the wheels move slowly in town government, so it's frustrating at first, but then I think we all get used to it, right, Karen?
Well, I don't want to. I want to say I actually really appreciate the willingness and enthusiasm from everyone we have asked to participate.
Yeah.
Everybody has jumped up and said yes. Obviously, we have to go around people's timelines, but I think that one thing in Grace and my first year, and I don't want to speak for Grace, but juggling other volunteer commitments, work, etc., has been a revelation for us as well. Trying to dig in and turn out really quality work in the time left over. But no, everybody has been very supportive, and we've been really impressed with the willingness and desire of everyone we've spoken to, regardless of their stake in town government or town business, to ask the right questions and get people's opinions back.
Karen.
Just a couple of things I'm so excited about this, but I just process-wise, I assume that you've had input from the finance director about the, I don't want to run afoul of procurement laws, basically, for when we go out. So are you working with Nancy Holt to make sure that the RFP that you're developing is going to meet town blessing?
So the anticipated total amount of this RFP is under $10,000. We are calling it an RFP just because we think that's a sort of like a transparent best practice, as opposed to confusing potential applicants. But from a town perspective, this is the under the $10,000 limit.
Yeah, which now that you say that, I remember you told me that already. I forgot. The other thing I just want you to be mindful of is the Mordecai Lincoln Commission or Committee or whatever. They are a group that the board formed to ask folks to determine what to do with the property we acquired last year in North Scituate. They are going to be releasing a survey as well to the community. So I just want you to be mindful of that. That's a different audience, obviously, but they've I believe last week finalized their content. So they're very close to releasing that to the public. So one, help get the word out, get as much people in general to reply. But two, I just want to make sure that we don't get survey fatigue, but I think we'll be fine because it's two audiences. So just want
No,
to
Candace, it's great to know. Thank you very much.
And I think we did reach out to Nancy Holt a couple of months ago and said, who do we speak with about writing an RFP? And she said it was her.
Yeah,
to-
I forgot that Grace and Barry already told me.
Yeah,
that.
but we are trying to keep it under. Okay, great. Well, Grace and Barry, I really, and all of us really appreciate the professionalism you bring to this. And I know it's been a lot of work and you have other lives to contend with on a day-to-day basis. We really appreciate it. Doing a great job.
Can I just throw in as well, just as a as a liaison for the bike committee? This is different, but also economic development related. They have their first bicycle committee slow roll going from the rec center on Earth Day, which is the 20th of April. So just want to make sure that everybody knows about that, because that's a big deal that they've been working a lot on and are doing a great job putting some scaffolding around that, working with Rich Bonanno, everybody knows. So putting that out there as well for my liaison duty.
That's great. Did you say April 20th?
April 20th, that's right.
Okay.
Register
And it's
Um,
department.
Okay, is there anything else that, Barry and Grace, are you all set? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Gina, did you want to speak more about the grant applications? Or are you all set? We gave a little update earlier.
I don't have anything further to say, and I see that you have Brenda's presentation at the end of the other business, so.
Yes, okay. Jane, do you have anything from the chamber?
Sure.
Right.
Well, just a general update. Hoping to see Barry and Grace at the April meeting. We'd love to have you at the board meeting, and I think I owe invitations to Karen and Sue, but I'm catching up here.
Okay.
It's been busy and we're we're averaging networking and business meetups and on a monthly basis, which is exciting. And we are continue to have really great new people, lots of energy. The new businesses like the Office South Shore, and we've got some artisans joining, and the magazine Home Life and Style. I know I messed that up, but it's just exciting to see these things happening. And we're just gonna continue to try to improve relationships. And we were proud to be able to sponsor the parade this year. So that was another thing that we've kind of, built that bridge again. And I think that's about it. Just doing a lot of outreach. Some of the board members, membership committee, and myself, we've doing outreach to, not taking away from the survey. I'm not nearly as professional as Barry and Grace, but but I hope I make up for it in friendliness. And that's all I got. Thanks.
Well, Jane, I just want to say, I know how hard you've been working for the last couple of months. And I really think it's going to pay off, and it is paying off. There's a lot of good energy. And I love the constant contact that you send out and all the social media you're doing. So I think you're doing a great job. Even though you are very let's say nonchalant about it. You're doing a great job. Thank you. It really does enhance business in Scituate, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Amy is not here from North Scituate. She had to work late this evening. Nothing absolutely earth-shattering happening there, but they're all doing well. One business has moved across the street. Yep, Susie?
Exactly, the new flower shop or plant shop.
Yep.
So that's nice, in the empty space where the bridal shop was. So that's great.
Yep.
But otherwise, I think nothing changed.
Okay, nope, that's good. And now, let's see. Shelley, Greenbush.
Hi, everybody. Coming off mute. Greenbush is doing well. It's really exciting, as I'm sure everybody who's been driving around down there has seen. A lot of new businesses popping in and out, or just, I guess, kind of making transitions. So I was able to stop by the leasing office over at Sky Sale and spoke with the leasing agent there, very nice gentleman. He said they're about 30% leased at the moment. So they are very excited to participate in the Get to Greenbush event that we have coming up on May 4th, which maybe I should have led with that. The Greenbush, I think I filled everybody in at last month's meeting, but I'll kind of repeat it for anybody who missed it. The Greenbush business owners, we're hosting our second annual event that we're calling Get to Greenbush, and the event's going to be on May 4th. It's a Saturday, and it's actually the same day as Ship Shape Day, and I met with Jean Marie,
That's good.
I
Yeah, yeah.
believe, on the
Yeah.
beautification committee, and we had a great meeting. And because I did mention to them before they had selected their date, I mentioned that was the date we were leaning towards, and we would not be offended if they wanted to separate the dates. And she thought, let's give it another go this year, on the same weekend, and see if because last year we kind of unified efforts being on the same day. They sent some people our way, we sent some people their way. So we'll see how it goes again, but I think we're excited to support each other. She mentioned that we can kind of identify 4 key businesses down in our Greenbush neighborhood that can have bags for Ship Shape Day, to pass out and hand out with some information next to wherever we're handing out bags, helping to encourage anybody that comes down to Greenbush for the Get to Greenbush event to take a bag to be collected, to go around town either Saturday or Sunday for participating in Ship Shape Day. So that's our hope, is that we're gonna kind of have a lot of energy on that day, all kind of communicating together. And right now, I think we have about 20, our goal is 25 businesses. There's a couple of businesses I'm gonna be chasing this week to see if we can encourage them to participate on May 4th. But I think so far we have maybe just under 20 businesses that have fully committed. And the website, we created a new website this year, which is up. It's gettogreenbush.com. And the whole goal is just to encourage visitors all across the South Shore to come out to Greenbush on that Saturday and walk the block, visit all the different businesses. We all have different things to offer. So the messaging is interesting and can be a little complicated, but we're going to try to just smooth it out by saying, just visit the town and visit the Greenbush neighborhood. We're going to create a neighborhood map showcasing all the businesses that are participating. On the website, we will have a listing of all the events that are happening at each business and the times, because again, everybody has their own schedule. But I think last year we were able to kind of keep a unified, at least sometimes between the 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. something was happening down in the neighborhood. And just to give you a kind of a overhead view of the events that most people are putting together. So Untold, last year they had a Cinco de Mayo party on that day. This year they decided to just kind of unify their marketing. They're going to do a Cinco de Mayo party at their new Plymouth location, which has opened and is exciting. But they are just going to go gung-ho on the Get to Greenbush event. So live music, food trucks, the Cardigan nursing home, they're also going to continue their party from last year, which was very big, probably everybody's favorite. Live music, mom on the go food truck. They had probably 8 or 9 different things for kids, anything between petting baby animals to bounce houses to fairy princesses walking around, lots of exciting face painting, that kind of thing. And I'm encouraging that from a lot of the businesses too, anything related to kids and getting out, but also kitchen spaces and interiors, so doing cooking demos. And Crust Pizza is doing dollar pizzas from 1 to 4. So I don't want to bore you with all the nitty gritty on the list, but that will be all on the website. So that's our biggest update, I guess, for Greenbush, that in addition to Sky Sale. Also over at Sky Sale, I did get confirmation that CP's is moving in over there, and Krigsman Yoga. Both of those are opening sometime in May, so there's a chance they could be open by the event. I think if nothing else, maybe, I'm gonna try to talk with the owners of both, Chris at CP's and the Krigsman Yoga, which I think is based in Hingham. and this
I
is now
think
going to
so.
be a
Yeah.
Scituate location. But I think it would be fun maybe to have that day as an opportunity to have a pop-up outside of where their location will be, advertising, you know, new members or the events coming up. So just opportunities to get creative. But that's exciting that those two retailers are committed. And then there's one other space that is still being negotiated. So I can't share much of the detail, but it does sound like there's some exciting things in the works for that third retail location. Let's see, Untold at Plymouth, they opened their new location. They had a big International Women's Day event, but that it was down in Plymouth, but I guess it's kind of still supporting Untold and Scituate in the sense that they're a Scituate business. But it was a really big, successful event for International Women's Day and was promoted on WBZ Morning News. The event itself was put together by a North Scituate business, the Collective Co, the co-working space down there, and then two other local female businesses. Looking at my notes, I think that's all my long-windedness.
Oh, that sounds great. Gina, did you have something?
I just had a quick question. I see on the website, which looks great, by the way, for the Get to
Thank you.
Greenbush event, that you have dog-friendly events. Do you have any
Yes.
details about that?
So it's still in the works, but last year the Driftway Animal Hospital was really a big player for the Get to Greenbush event. They did lots of fun and creative activities at their location. Last year they weren't able to get actual pop-up vendors down there, but they still had fun. They had kind of goodie bags for dogs. They got all of their suppliers to put together things for the dogs. But I was talking with the woman who's leading the charge, and I'm encouraging, hopefully they'll be able to get it together. But there's just so many fun, creative dog vendors. There's a woman who does charcoal pictures of you and your dog, like on the spot, we'll draw them. There's another person who makes flower collars for dogs or flower arrangements. Obviously dog treat vendors, and being a dog owner, if you guys, if you have any suggestions for local artisans or makers, anything related to either kids or dogs, I think those are, you know, the biggest kind of draws right now for visitors. So if there's somebody you'd like to see popping up, because Driftway Animal Hospital has a nice opportunity. They have a lot of space where they could host some tables with tents. So that's their hope, is to have some activities right there. Ask a Tech, they can't really do kind of Ask a Vet. They don't want to give medical advice, but some Ask a Tech type stuff. They even thought maybe nail clip, like clipping, nail toenail clipping and things like that.
Cool. Yeah, I
That's
wasn't sure
cute.
if maybe they would do like something with the animal shelter to do like an adopt event. Like I know sometimes I mean, that might be too big of a, you know, an ask, but you know, kids playing with the puppies and stuff.
That was really fun. I will, I think we have a meeting either tomorrow or next Tuesday. I can't remember, but I'll talk with Leah at the Driftway Animal Hospital. Let's see if that syncs up, because that would be really cool.
Cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
sounds great. Looking forward to it,
Okay.
Shelley.
Thank you.
Shelley, I just wanted to alert you that the select board received a letter yesterday or today, I don't remember, recently, from somebody down in Greenbush that was concerned about increasing amounts of trash in the area. And we're working with around town, just sort of trying to come up with a program that's going to keep everything nice and shipshape without, but there's been some complications in some misuse of barrels and stuff like that. So it's as it always is with these things. It's, you try to solve for one thing and another thing pops up. So I just want to just put that on you guys on your radar, that there is talk about that, and that we're aware of it and we're thinking about locations for barrels and stuff like that, but just a little heads up.
Thank you. And that's interesting too, because when I was talking with Jean Marie from Beautification, she said, this is completely off topic, but I had mentioned that I walk our dog along the little pathway that goes along the MBTA train station. And she said, are there any barrels there on either end Or I told her, I kind of walked down to the, I don't even know what to call it, but basically getting down to the North River from Driftway, right by Dunkin' Donuts, there's that little trail. And she was asking about trash barrels there. And I said, there's one, I don't know who manages it. And it's over, I assume the management might be from the village at Greenbush, because it's right at the property complex at the beginning of the trail. Do you know the
Yeah.
trail I'm mentioning?
Oh, yeah, that's town
Yeah.
property.
That's town property. So there's that one barrel there, which is great because I use that when I'm walking him, our dog. But then when you walk down to Driftway and then across the street, those two spots would be an interesting place for a trash barrel, particularly the one by Dunkin' Donuts, because I can see that somebody puts a trash bag at the beginning of the trailhead there, and it's always full. So somebody's putting a trash bag there, and I guess removing it at some point. But it's heavily used.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to look at like all of the factors on that, but
Yeah,
we'll probably circle back
the
to you.
misuse of it, I imagine.
Yeah, we'll probably circle back to the folks down there when we get to that piece of it, because you want the town to look nice.
Right.
Well, and it's true that people are really just getting their feet wet there, trying to figure out who's doing what, where, when.
Yeah.
And so it's like a new downtown area, so.
Yeah.
So great, thank you, Shelley. Does anybody else
Sure.
have any questions? No? Okay. All right, then we will move on to Brenda. There she is, waiting patiently. And while she's getting ready, you're unmuting herself. As we know at EDC, we have supported the Visitor Center since it began 2 years ago. It's doing quite well, and there was an expectation that they were not going to come back to EDC this year because they did have funds lined up, but it got slashed by the state. So they got half of what they had expected. So there we are, Brenda. You want to take it from there?
Yes, we all disappointed with the state. The earmarks, because of the disappointing tax revenue. It was decided that one way of making up for this was slashing the earmarks in half. And that came about in December or early January, which made it very difficult because people had already planned on that money. And that was halfway through the fiscal year. We all found out that we wouldn't have it. And the visitor center, as you probably are aware, the tourism industry is totally different than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 5 years ago. And consumers of the tourist industry don't go and talk to their local travel agent as I might have 15 or 20 years ago. The first thing they all do is go on the internet. And that is driven. It has to be up to date. It has to be attractive. It has to really sell a place. And this is why when we determined how to go forward with the visitor center, we chose to go the modern route, and we are on the internet and have a website that we're very proud of. And it is exceeding our expectation. The growth in the website is astounding. It has even impressed the people at Sperling. They cannot believe the growth. And if I can see in the semi-darkness, we have here in the living room, I don't have lights behind me. We never use this area to see. And so I'm finding that it's not particularly good when you're using it for this. But I don't see the numbers right now. But there was something like when we started, the number of people or hits on the page was very, very low and is now over 50,000. And the increase is in the tens of thousands over the lifetime of the website. And not only the initial charge, but the maintenance, because if you don't keep things working at the top level, you run into trouble. And also, you just don't flat out put a website out. You have to steer people to it, and that costs money. And actually, this is, I think, a very modest request, but it is because this money was going to be provided in the state grant, and it is not. And the maintenance and development, the Sperling price of $3,600 is, as I say, essential. The Google advertising, and it's through Google that we are steering people to the site. And that is, it's placing us at a certain point. Now, I am probably not the best person to speak to you because I don't know any of this technical information. I just understand that through this Google account, people are being driven to our website, and the traffic there makes all the difference in the world. And they are spending time on it. They're not just clicking on and saying, oh, I don't want this, and clicking off. They're spending time. And one of the things that is extremely attractive is our events calendar. And this has become something where we are advertising everything in town, the events happening, and people are astounded at the offerings available in this small town. So that is incredible. And also we're asking for money for a videographer, because the content on social media and on our website has to be visually attractive. It has to pull people in, and this has to change frequently, so that we have to build up a library from which to choose the content for social media. And that's $1,500. The Google advertising is $1,500. And something which is low cost is the acrylic rack card holders. Now, I have made the most ridiculous mistake in the South Shore Irish Heritage Trail. We have ordered the most magnificent brochures, and we handed them out. And we did not hand out rack holders. So people have these scattered around, and now we have to invest, because this is where your brochure or your rack card is set, and it's there probably near a cash register or whatever, and people see it and pick that up. But we have spent in the trail a lot of money on our brochures, and something as inexpensive as an acrylic rack card holder, we neglected. And believe me, it makes all the difference in the world. So that's money that is essential. Each thing in this is essential. And I'm happy to answer questions, because I know I haven't explained this too well.
I can give everyone an overview of the costs that she just laid out too, just so we kind of know what we're looking at. So on the funding application that Brenda submitted, $3,600 would go towards Sperling Interactive, who maintains the website for the Scituate Visitor Center, and it would also go towards search engine optimization and content creation. So as she was discussing, it will help with Google hits. It will help with making sure that everything is up to date and looks fresh and lovely. $750 would go towards those acrylic rack holders that she mentioned, so that we could put the physical brochures in different stores and other locations. $1,500 for Google advertising specifically. And then $1,500 for video footage for a videographer, which would help with creating reels and other types of social media content, which gives us a grand total of $7,350. I did have one question for you, Brenda.
Certainly.
How many acrylic rack holders are included in that 750 figure?
Well, I actually don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I thought I had that number, Gina.
I was just, it might be in the, I only wrote down the figures, in
Okay.
the application. I was just
Yeah,
curious because I've seen what Brenda describes where, you know, you walk into certain places and they're just sort of in a stack sitting on the counter where it's not as visually appealing as if it was, you know,
Right.
vertical to catch your eye.
I know I purchased 3 from Amazon and it was $23. So I don't know if I assume getting a larger quantity would reduce that price.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 750 would certainly be able to outfit the businesses in Scituate, I would think.
For sure.
But it sounded wonderful what you were saying. It's amazing when you understand what you're doing that you're so articulate.
The rack cards, as I understand it, will also be displayed. They've been displayed in Boston. So they're in some of the hotels in Boston, also the commuter boat. There's where the idea is to research what the cost is. Some I believe charge to put the rack cards on display in certain locations. So, and I think Karen or somebody may have just answered, I don't know who did. I think it was about 100
About
rack card holders.
and you
Yes.
said the commuter ferry, like the one out of Hingham and Hull?
Yes.
Mm.
And those as people are waiting around and see this, they're attracted to say, you know, I didn't know we could do that in Scituate. Maybe that's what we'll do Saturday. It's a great advertising, and all those places that are desirable know they are, and so they charge. So in order to get it rack cards in desirable places, it costs.
That makes sense. Thank you.
But it's worth it for the visibility and these people that pick it up are people that actually are interested and read them and get ideas. And if 1 out of 10 decide, I'm going to spend an afternoon there, then that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda, if you can get 1 out of 10, then
That
we'll
would
give
be
you we'll double your funding next year.
I always am very optimistic about it. These rack cards are terrific, and we're going to get 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like to have high goals because then it's fun when we meet them.
Yeah. So does anyone else have any questions for Brenda? Or about the application itself?
Could I interrupt for 1 second
Yes.
to put on another hat and say that you will be getting a report from the sister cities on the Fabulous Film Festival. It just ended in March, which is our nightmare month because we have 4 or 5 events that start at the end of February and go through mid-April. So we will be sending a report. It was highly successful and your help was appreciated.
Great. Thank you, Brenda.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we want to have more discussion on this or
Hey, Sue, I'm ready to make a motion.
okay. Okay.
First, let me just say, I really appreciate all the work of Brenda and everyone else involved with the Visitors Center. It's been a tremendous success. It's hard to believe we got along without a Visitors Center. I don't think we really did get along. So I'm very happy to strongly support this application and move approval.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second.
Oh, who
Multiple
said that?
seconds.
You got that, Gina. That's you, Gina.
Okay, Gina's put up a second. All right, well, why don't we take a vote here? So
Aye.
Gina and Paul, Gina,
Aye.
Susie,
Aye.
Grace,
Aye.
Barry,
Aye.
Sue DePisa, aye.
Mhm.
Okay, we have
Congratulations.
awarded the visitor center of their requested amount.
Thank you very much. It will be
Brenda,
appreciated.
thank you very much. Thank you.
It will be well.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about tonight?
I
You-
did just want to mention that I know we didn't have a harbor report tonight, but that it's exciting to see some new businesses down the harbor. I know the Run House has had a lot of visitors, and I unfortunately could not get into the Need Bakery because they were so popular. They ran out of product this weekend. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's a really great start for them. So that was really exciting that they already had a lot of people going to their business. And it's just great to see new businesses come in.
That's great.
I'm meeting tomorrow a friend at the Neat Bakery, so I'm very excited to go there.
Let me know how it is. Their menu looks great, and
Yeah,
I was
looks
sad to
great.
miss it.
That's great. Kristen, I'm sorry, I have not seen you. I just saw your name. I'm so
Oh, no.
sorry. Do you want to say something?
I would love to. First of all, thank you, Karen, for the push for water conservation. We love that. I'm the liaison for the Water Resources Commission, so yay. And I'll update the group tomorrow night at our meeting for the rebate program. I'm glad it's been expanded. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't received the town email or seen all of
Kristen,
all
I
of
have
the-
to, I have to give you an asterisk first off. It's recommended in the budget for the town meeting on April 8th.
Oh,
So everybody has to come
Okay.
vote for it, but it is included in the budget. I want to be
Okay.
very precise about that and get everybody from the water resources to come.
okay. I'll hold my horses.
Sorry to interrupt, but I
No,
misspoke.
no, I appreciate it. So if you haven't seen all of the emails and the weekly updates, remember to order your water barrels online by midnight this Sunday, the 24th. And then just a question, if someone had Jane, I think Jane Norton's on the meeting tonight. If you could drop your email, I will send you the email that we've sent out to the town. So if you're feeling so inspired, you can share with businesses for those who have individual buildings and aren't managed by properties and such. So thank you for any help.
Thank you, Kristen. Okay, so if there is nothing else, then I will make a motion to adjourn. All those in favor? Yes, 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 yes.
7:39, right?
7:39. Yes, Susie.
Super.
Thank you very much, everybody.